Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stuck Innovator Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Uncle AK.
And I'm Reflex. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. We appreciate y'all, man. Every week, y'all support this. We appreciate it. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for downloading. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Do subscribe. Hit that ringer so you get that updates quick, fast. We are SITM Podcast on all social media platforms. Send us an email, sitmpodcast237@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Definitely want to remind you this episode is sponsored by Perfect Office Solution. They provide affordable, flexible, professional office space for entrepreneurs in the DMV area. So hit them up, let them know we sent you. Starting on just $4.99, you get 10% off if you use promo code SITM Podcast. Now do the math. We helping you. Help us. Help everybody. You know what I mean? Also want to remind you this episode is sponsored by Eddie B Music, an independent record label in Dallas, Texas, home of R&B Afrobeat award-winning singer Eddie B. Just released his first album, The Eddie B Show, was released in October 26th. Definitely hit him up, feelgoodmusic.com, EddieBmusic.com, rather, and get some feel good music. You know what I mean? Yeah, we excited for this episode, man. Hey, you want to let them know who got in the building?
Nah, you go ahead, man.
Hey, man, listen. She's the host, media correspondent, and founder of Go With The Flow. Listen, no long team. Welcome, Flow Essence, the Stuck in the Middle podcast, yo.
Thank you so much, fellas. Hey. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
The energy is I can feel it.
Yeah?
It's going to be dope.
She's a media personnel, man.
Yeah, man.
I keep reminding you.
Hey, I like it. Let's start here, sis. You know what I'm saying? You've got a lot going. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait to unpack that, but let's start here. What is success to you?
Wow. Success to me is it's something that really is from within. It's if you, I guess for me personally, if I'm feeding that fuel that keeps me moving, I am successful. So like you said, I've done a lot of different things, and even in my career, I started out as, an internet radio show, and it was great. We were getting accolades, in the beginning, best new show, best new this, but that wasn't enough for me. I had to find something that was going to fuel me. So those days that I don't feel like getting up, I still get up. So passion. So if I'm feeding my passion, which is mental health, which is mental wellness, that's success to me. So yeah, that's my definition of it.
Man,
yeah.
We usually don't start with that question. I like how she was ready.
But now, you're no different from us, the Stuck in the Middle crew, because, what we do is we shed light, on the movers and shakers in society. For you, what really motivated, like what got you to say, yo, I want to get into radio, I want to get into hosting, I want to get into shedding light on other people's passions and dreams?
Yeah, good question. So honestly, I'm from originally my parents born in Ghana, raised in Nigeria, but I'm a first generation. So I grew up in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and a lot of my friends and family were really, let's say, they were into a lot of different things. They were creative, but I saw that no one could see what they were doing. Yeah. So a lot of them, they were doing different kind of things. Like some were designers, some were into makeup, some were into hair. Like all of them had great passions, but no one could notice it. So I got the opportunity to go on a TV show to do talk about social topics and issues because I graduated in sociology. So I did that. It was fun. Then I got invited on a radio show. Never done it before in my life. I was like, well, okay, somebody wants me to be just a speaker. I was like, well, if somebody's gonna ask me to be on the radio, let me just go. Why not? So I go on the radio. I love it. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I feel empowered. I feel like, this whole mic thing, I love it. So I said, okay, I want to come up with a radio show, and I wanted to do it in a way that I support the people around me. So one of the things and the basis of the radio show was to promote entrepreneurs, artists, whatever that you do, and expose the raw truth behind your success. So that was literally my whole entire game plan, my platform. That's what I wanted to do, and that's how it kind of started. And then after doing that, I said, okay, this is cool. I want to get out the studio. I want to be able to take my show on the road. So that's when I started doing media coverages and doing red carpets. And I was just like, okay, I like this too. So literally me just being open to the process and being open to whatever was coming my way. Even if I didn't know how to do it, I learned how to use a camera. I didn't know how to do it. I learned how to cut and slice videos. I didn't know how to do it. So just being open to the process led me to where I am today.
Man, I tell people experience is overrated. Just get started.
Man, even if you don't know how to do it, just do it. You just never know where God will place you. Like I didn't know I was going to be here. I just knew that I had a voice to speak, and I knew I could grab everyone's attention. That's all I knew. I had no idea my path would lead me to this very moment that I am here. And I know this is just the beginning. There's so much more to come. So yeah.
Who's Flo?
Who is Flo?
Yeah.
Flo is a celebrity media correspondent. She's a host. She's a daughter. She is a cousin, a sister. She is a mental health advocate, and she is a woman. That's what she
Strong,
is.
like beautiful sister.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you're a property manager by trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you land? You know, what I'm saying property management. And
She's
then
looking at you like, hey, guy, how did you figure that one out?
Listen, nobody come and stuck in the middle podcast and feel like this is just laissez-faire.
I'm
This is
impressed.
not no
research.
mediocre
I'm
stuff, eh?
impressed. Okay. Good question. So property management. I got into that shortly after. Actually, while I was in college, I became a concierge. So I was working the front desk, working all kinds of hours, trying to do my work, my schoolwork as I was in school because.
Man, concierge and night shifts, man.
Man, but listen, I got all my work. All my papers were done.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a benefit.
You know,
Yeah.
I slept sometimes, but the papers were done. So, I did that, and then just me hustling. I went to this one property, Gray Star, and they loved my hustle. They loved what I was doing, and she was just like, you know what? Why don't we try to hire you as a leasing professional? I said, okay, I like making people smile. I like the fact that people are looking for a home. I like selling. Okay, let me try it. And literally, she opened that door, and it's been history ever since. From there, I was promoted assistant property manager, and here we are now. So literally, just once again being open to the process. So,
Man,
How much racks is in that? Like,
hey,
my brother.
I mean, I'm just asking.
You don't see the design pearls, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody wear pearls in 2018 if you don't got racks. I'm just saying. saying that.
She might have other gigs. I'm just talking about the property manager.
Yeah. My bad.
property management. So the good thing about it is you have a good base, and that you could get a lot of great bonuses too, a lot of great commissions for almost anything. So I'm gonna give you a range of where it could be. In property management, you could be anywhere from a manager level from 65 to like 130.
That's not bad.
You doing what for yourself?
It depends.
You
Yeah.
doing what for yourself?
I don't know. I used to look at property managers like, dang, man, you went to school to be this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
used
guess
to
what?
like.
You don't even have to go to school for
Well,
it.
yeah.
At all.
Or somebody
You
just want to grow up to be this. Like,
Property manager to go
property
collect rent.
manager, like.
First day of the month. Where's your
You didn't
rent?
think it was cool?
Rent is due.
I never thought about it till.
There's
I actually
so
have a
many-
friend who was a property manager
Okay.
too. You know what I mean? And she was like giving me all this insights. I was like, huh.
It's so much
Interesting.
more to it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it gets you into real estate. Like I'm into real estate too. It gets you into like marketing, selling, learning budgets, accounts. Even if you want to do your own business, you'll learn how to check and balance your own business if you do what you're supposed to do the right way.
I
So,
guess the difference is what do you do with the opportunity that's given to you?
And turn that into.
And turn something like, okay, you could be a property manager, but
Right.
what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean?
He's still low key throwing shade on.
I'm not. I'm just,
to be honest, for me, the property management thing is literally a paycheck. Yeah. I like to, like I said, I like making people smile. The
Let
reason
your
why I
manager
got
hear
into
that
it,
one.
I got into it because I used to love, moving people into their homes. Some people who like were looking all over, they're homeless, and I finally helped them get into an apartment, and they're like so happy. Some of them are even crying. Those are the feelings that I loved when I did it. But when I started moving up, now it's a money game. So now those joys, I don't
Right.
get them anymore. I mean, I try to still help people out because in my position now, I have one of the worst positions because I have to evict people, and I hate that. I don't like to put anyone outside of their home, but that's what I'm measured on. So, for those kind of people, I try my best to work with them. Where the system might say get them out, I'm like, okay, look, what can we do? Set up a payment plan with me. Let's see if I can help you. So that's my little bit of help. But other than that, you're right. It's a paycheck. My passion is really what I do, which is go with the flow. So,
Let's take that and like run with it. Where do you fall in terms of like sibling ranking?
I'm the baby.
You're the baby. All right. So you're first generation African American. How much pressure did that place on you as far as like what to do when you came out of school? You know what we're from is lawyer, doctor, engineer. And here you are doing media, and being on camera, all that.
How about this? My sister's a lawyer.
pressure.
Thank you.
Pressure.
So imagine
Yeah.
growing up, everything, you must be like your sister. You see your sister. So all, growing up, I was compared to her my entire life. And I mean, at one point I wanted to be a doctor. I did. I wanted to be a lawyer at one point too. But, the doctor thing, I took chemistry, said no. I said, okay, so let's try something else. I tried lawyer. It was all right. I had to transfer schools. So basically, rewind. I played ball in college, and that's how I got a scholarship to go to school. I went to school my first year in West Virginia, where I studied criminal justice. I left that school for many different reasons and had to transfer to UMBC. They didn't have that as a major, so I had to switch it to something that was close to it, which was sociology. I was scrutinized up and down. I used to have uncles calling me, telling me, "You want to be a social worker? Do you know how much money they make? You will never make anything." Oh, I mean, I had to block that uncle. I'm sorry, because it was just too much. So the pressures of doing it was tough. The one thing I will say, my mom, she was very different than a lot of my aunts and uncles. My mom kind of allowed me the liberty to do certain things. She wanted me to be happy, and so she kind of just she trusted me that I was, you know, making a good decision and I loved what I was doing. Whereas my dad, on the other hand, he may have not been so fond of me doing that. So, yeah.
How does it feel now?
I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy I made my decision the way I did.
How does your dad feel now?
Oh, now. Okay, well, actually, my dad has dementia. So this is where my whole passion of mental health came from. So my dad, I'm hoping he is very proud of me. So I guess I can't really answer that question.
Yeah, we'll get into that down the road. But you had, like you mentioned earlier, Go With The Flow, and now it's Flow on the Go.
Yes. Well, Go With The Flow is still the umbrella brand. So it's Go With The Flow Media and Production Company, and then the things that fall underneath that is Flow on the Go, which is a show. Then we have Flow Essence TV, which is like media coverage, red carpets, and then we have like advertising and marketing stuff. So it's just the big umbrella that everything falls underneath.
What was the initial idea behind Go With The Flow?
Initial idea was just a radio show. It was just Go With The Flow radio show. That's exactly what I named it when I first started out. And it was just a radio show to, you know, shed a light or a platform on entrepreneurs. And then I realized it was bigger than that I liked so many other things. Like I loved video and photography, and I loved marketing, and I loved advertising and branding. I'm like, wow, I like all these things. It can't just be Go With The Flow radio show. So that's when I changed the name, and then just made it like I said, household name. And I have like a whole team that helps me out and runs with me.
People hear about, you know, radio shows. Oh, I created a radio show. I went on a radio show. Like what kind of radio are we talking about? Like podcast radio, or, you know, a radio, you know, kind of want to hear on air.
It's internet radio. So very similar to what you guys do. You have to download an app to get to the station.
App that y'all created, or?
No, it's Rip Radio Network. Okay. So that was based out of, back then it was in Laurel too. Yeah, we were not too
I had
far.
hit y'all up to get on the show.
Did you?
Yeah, when I dropped my album, but you know, that's after podcasting.
I was salty about that too.
Did you? What happened?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after. Yeah.
Dang.
Why can't we talk about it right now?
Yeah, man, I dropped my album, you know, saying shout out to Some of Your Love, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, Go With The Flow. Let me come and promote my album. No, I think y'all answered, and it was like a fee or something to get on.
Yes. Okay, so you try to get on a little bit later. Okay. When we first started the show, it was definitely free, but then airtime isn't free. Things started getting costly. So when we hit you with the calls, what, you didn't want to pay or what?
I mean, I don't remember how much it was.
That means we responded. That's a good thing. We responded, but you didn't want to pay.
Yeah, I was out of budget.
Okay, so that's not my problem, right? I think that's what that means.
Clap back. Man down.
Listen, if y'all sending for me, be ready to bring.
Man down. I need help. I want you to come on, take over.
I guess we'll clear that up. We'll clear that up, right?
All right, Thank you for putting me under the bus.
Yeah, let's move
on. We shall move on.
Now you know you step into an African woman.
It just finished. Time out. Brother, ask question.
Now, what set the Flow brand from all the media brands currently?
That's a good question. I think really what sets my brand apart, and this is the same thing for anybody's brand, is literally your formula. I feel like everyone, we're all doing different stuff and we're all doing the same things, but people always say, oh, there's all these other podcasts out. Why should I start my podcast? Well, because your flavor and what you bring is different than anyone else. Even if you're shedding a light just like everybody else, your flavor is different. So I think that I bring a lot. I put my passion and my heart into a lot of things. If I'm working with you, I don't just give you what's on the paper, like, you know, the contract. I give you so much more of me because I love this stuff. Like, I'm really passionate about it. So you get, I guess when you get me, you get all of me.
Yeah.
You know?
They say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Like you say, you started yours, but along the way, you kind of fed off of, you know, other outlets, energy, I guess. So what other media outlets have you gone on and been like, yo, I like what I do here. I could, you know, take a little bit of this and add to this, you know, to make my thing go, collaborate. You know, that I kind of feel your passion.
Honestly, to be honest, I didn't want to. Okay, so when I got into this, I didn't want to collab with anybody. I didn't even look at anybody either.
Why is that?
I think I didn't want to be influenced by anyone else that was doing things. I just wanted to run in my own lane. Whereas I had a co-host at the time, and he was really, he used to look at other stuff. Like he used to look at what was his favorite? The Breakfast Club, of course, and stuff like that, and kind of get ideas. But me, I don't know. I just wanted to always make sure I stuck to the script and what I wanted to do for the show.
Right.
And I didn't want anything to influence me. So really, during that time, I didn't go on anyone's platform or anything like that. It's just now that I'm finally starting to get out there. I finally did a collab venture recently called Proof with 3 other individuals, my first time ever. So I would say now I'm just starting to step out, because now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I get it. You can't do everything by yourself. So
I mean, I don't feel like it was you doing it by yourself. I just felt like you didn't want to put yourself in that competitive space, that negative competitive space.
Yeah.
Because it's not positive or negative competitive space. Like we
Yeah.
can say, okay, yeah, I see I'm doing something like that, but we're still different, and that does not really hurt my brand.
yeah.
Contrary to, oh, we're doing the same thing. Like, am I really doing something right? Like, why they get more followers than us? Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Who did you look up? What saying, like media brands? Who did you look up to? Who inspire you, if any?
I don't want to say no one did. Someone had to. Karen Civil. Love Karen Civil. I love her grind, everything about her. I would say she's the only person who I really looked at. I was like, wow, I want to be like a Karen Civil. Like, she's a boss. She's like everywhere. She has so many great connections. She is just really self-made. She's built her brand to where it is now. And, I'm just like, yeah, I love her. I want to be like Karen Civil. So her.
That's
I
the
gotta do
go.
research on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I ain't
still
never
her.
heard her.
Look
Yeah,
her up.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she is a beast. Look her up.
I like when people have role models that's like exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have a favorite artist and they make it big and you're like, everybody. Yeah.
What do you enjoy the most about being a host or just being in the media industry?
I love interviewing people and just figuring out their stories. Like the people that we all know and see, I love learning about like their struggles. I think what really excites me is the story. I don't care about the glitz and glams. I want to know about the story, how you got to where if you went through something that's really hard, love it. I love it because I respect the struggle so much. So that's probably my favorite part.
Most people will hear about the shadiness in the media industry. You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with that? How do you address that?
You just smile. Honestly, there's a lot of shade. You are 100% right. So I'm the type of person where I'll go to an event and someone will, they probably know me, but they'll act like they don't. But I'll be the one to go up to, hi, oh, are you so-and-so? Oh, great to see you. So I always like say hello, speak, because I hate feeling that weird tension. So I think for me, even when I got into it, I did struggle with that whole shadiness of the industry. And what I had to do was I had to find my own lane, which is where I am now. And once you find your own lane, you won't even worry about that because your lane is yours. No one can take it. No one can come and do anything. It's yours. So
Yeah. You have mentioned earlier about Go With The Flow being, the main umbrella and had all these different services on that. Could you tell us a little bit how you managed to go from one passion to the other and to the other, and what other things up your sleeve you try to bring to the world?
Yeah, sure. So when and I think you guys could probably relate to me when it comes to this, when you're doing your own show, like people, all they hear right now is you coming through the airwaves, but they're not realizing there's a whole production team behind it that you have to go through in order to get it to the airwaves.
Week of stress.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you're running your show, it's like you have to get into so many different things. Like, for example, we have this live setup right here and we have this. You're gonna, when we're done this interview, you're probably gonna change the frame out and make it so it can be posted on IG. Like all these other little things that get you into production and photography and videography. So like that, it kind of just came with it. And so some people will just be like, okay, that's a part of it. But some people will be like, you know what? I love it. I loved it. I loved creating. I love creating. So that's how I decided to get into these other things. So even now I take pictures, like I do photography. I don't like to talk about it too much because I'm not trying to overwhelm myself with too many things going on. But yeah, like I love photography. I love videography. Like And so I'm just like, well, I'm bringing it all on. I mean, why can't I do it?
Right.
Who's going to tell me that I can't? So, yeah.
How are you able to distinguish noise and I guess something productive? Because it's like you hear all this noise, right? But you're thinking of something they want to do that's very productive. But then this noise, 90% of the time, is always distracting all this production that's going on. How are you able to set that aside and focus on your grind?
Literally is having a team. Literally. Exactly what you just said, I'm going to tell you exactly why. If I'm going out and I'm doing media coverage, and I'm very prepared to do it by myself if I have to, if my team can't come, I have my camera, I have my mics, and this is where I hear noise, because now I'm worrying about setting up, worrying about my questions, worrying about making sure I'm micing them right, making sure we're in the frame right. That's noise to me. Whereas if I have a team that can take care of all these things, all I have to do is focus on the questions. I can zone out, be in my own zone, and they're doing everything else. So I would say my team literally is my backbone. They know my speed. They know how we run. They don't get starstruck. So, and that's a big thing too. Like, they're just there. So they can just set everything up, get everyone mic'd up, and I can just focus on what I need to do.
I hope Stuck in Middle podcast team was listening. It's like, nah. Everybody, take that clip and rewind and play the game. It's like, nah, we love our team, man. Awesome dudes and females.
I didn't want to get into mental health.
Yeah.
Right, but let me just transit, set the mood for that. You mentioned in an article that you don't get anxiety or panic attacks when you're on air, but it's behind the scenes where you're getting prepared for it. You know what I mean? Speak a little bit about how you're able to manage panic attacks or anxiety attacks.
That's a good question right there. I don't know. They just keep happening, honestly. I think I'm almost like, I'm not used to it, because I still say something like, oh my God, I'm nervous. And they're like, okay, Flora, it's the same thing. So you always experience this. I'm like, yeah, but I'm nervous. I don't know. I kind of just, it's a part of the process. And it's kind of like there's good anxiety. So I think what I experience is a good type. It's like you want to be nervous, because if you're too comfortable, then you might not show up. But I show up under pressure. So if I have nerves, and if my palms are sweating, and if I'm feeling a little, that means I'm about to perform something great. So I guess I just take it with it. It comes with the territory, and I just roll with it. Because once the lights turn on, it's like everything that I just felt is literally gone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms
Everything.
are
I was thinking the same thing too. I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't know the lyrics, man. I was like,
mom spaghetti. No, shout out to M. But you mentioned when you talking to people, one of the things that you enjoy is hearing their stories of struggles. You got your own struggles that you know what I'm saying, as far as in the industry and personal.
Absolutely.
And that's a segue to what I'm saying, like, one thing that you're passionate about is mental health.
Right.
And your dad being diagnosed with dementia. That's one thing that we share in common, by the way. Lost our
Really?
grandmother to dementia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got her, getting her tatted and everything.
Wow.
But that was 2006 or something.
When he was diagnosed?
Yeah.
It was 2000 and officially diagnosed, I would say 2010. I diagnosed him first. Because
You did?
Yeah, I did. Because no one knew what it was. They were trying to figure it out. But I would use school as my way to research. So you know how you have like classes and the professor would tell you, oh, pick your own topics or whatever. My dad was so young, and the way he was behaving, I used to just choose him. So I was like, I was asking I was asking my mom and like my cousins about my dad's history, trying to figure out like what happened. Like, did he, he played soccer. So I'm like, did the ball hit his head too many times? He also had his habits. He drank, he smoked. So I'm like, did this contribute? So all these different things I would try to research and compare to dementia and see if they correlated. And so finally I diagnosed him in 2010. And I want to say the ending of 2010 to 2011, we took him to a psychologist, and he told him that it was dementia, which would stem from severe depression. So yeah.
How was it dealing with that at first for you?
Wow, that was not easy. It's literally someone you love is changing before your eyes. We all grow old, and we all grow together. And so when we're changing, as we're growing, we don't really notice. Like, for example, you and your brother, you might see each other every day, and you might be getting skinny. He might not notice because he sees you every day. But when it's dementia, you see it.
yeah.
And so it was the most scariest thing of my life, especially because my dad was the breadwinner. Most African households, or any kind of household, mostly the guys or, men are the breadwinners. But women, I mean, we starting to, show up in that area a little bit. But for the most part, my dad did a lot. And so when he took a decline like that, it really affected us badly. So.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's more or less like the memories, conversations, having a conversation with a person. You're trying to tell them something, or let's just keep it simple. They can't remember your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They try to refer to you, but they're just stuck. Like, oh, wait, who are you again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like the part that really crushes.
To be honest, I haven't heard my dad say my name in 6 years.
That's tough.
What do you think we're lacking as far as mental health is concerned, both here in America and in the world? What do you think we're lacking?
I think we're lacking understanding. I think we don't understand that there are so many different ways that dementia can affect you, not just you getting older and it coming with old age. At the time when my dad was diagnosed, there were literally 6 scholarly journals that had anything relating to dementia being diagnosed at 58. 6. There was no literature about it. There was no one heard of it. No one could see it because it didn't correlate with his age. So I feel like we need to open our minds to know that this can come from different things. My dad got it because he was chronically depressed. His depression led into the dementia. So I think that if we keep an open mind and not use age as a factor about when someone's supposed to reach this level, because as we can see, technology, things happen anytime. Your food, what you're intaking, all these different things affect when you can definitely, grow into this type of illness. And so once we take those things into consideration, I feel like we'll be more prepared. So when things happen, my dad's not the first person to be diagnosed at 58. Somebody could be 42. So when those things happen, we know exactly how to, mend it or how to move forward with it and care for the family.
Yeah. Where we come from, men are viewed to, bottle their emotions, not speak about what you're feeling, or something hurts you, like you can't talk about it.
Yes.
Do you think that, like, mental health in our society is like this right here, this point I just made, is that part of it?
Yes.
And how can we address that?
100%, because I think that was part of my dad's issue too. He didn't talk about, when he was ill, he would never go to the doctor. He would always try something else. And so I had to literally trick him to take him to the hospital to figure out. He would not let me. And I feel like if I had known a little bit earlier, we probably could have did a little things to stop it. I do think men, you guys can't be afraid to know about your health. I mean, it's so important. You guys are so important to us. Even in this world, in this life, we can't even create new life without you guys. So the one thing that you guys can do to help us is to go to the doctors, get checked out, not just when you turn 40. Go when you're 25. Go when you're 27. Go when your back hurts. It's not going to kill you. We have health insurance for a reason. It's not a woman's health insurance. It's everyone's health insurance. Take advantage of it. So I think men just have to literally just get out there. There's nothing else that's stopping you guys. Literally just get out there. You guys have the same opportunity as we do. So.
Yeah.
The whole process actually took a toll on you, causing you to get kicked out of school, for example. Yeah, speak on that.
Wow. So yeah, when my dad was diagnosed and he was going through that, I had a rough time. And I don't know, it was just life at the same time happened. So pretty much, I transferred from the school in West Virginia, and I was on a basketball scholarship. When you play D2 and above, you have to go to what's called a clearinghouse. The school was pretty upset that I left, and so they kind of held my scholarship. So I wasn't able to play basketball. I lost my scholarship. I lost my housing. So for that semester, I was sleeping on the floor in Morgan View. That's a whole different college. That's Morgan State University's dorm area. Sleeping there on the floor and traveling to UMBC every single day to go to school. So that, on top of getting phone calls about where your dad is, Adult Protective Services calling you because he's wandering, I could not focus whatsoever. I mean, I tried, but I could not focus at all. And so what eventually happened was I got kicked out. First I got put on academic probation. I thought that would, be enough to get me to get my stuff in order. Nope. Next semester, same thing happened. They kicked me out, and that's when I was just like, I have failed. I have literally failed. I was just like, me of all people. You know how we value education. You don't get kicked out of school. So I was so literally disappointed in myself. I couldn't tell anyone. And so there was a community college not too far from my school, and so I enrolled in there. And so I was going to the community college with my books, coming back to UMBC in the library. And no one knew I didn't go to UMBC because, when it was study hall, I was still studying. They didn't know where, no one was looking at, let me see what kind of book you have. No, it looks like a book for school. So I was perpetrating the whole semester, acting like I was going to UMBC. And what ended up happening was I ended up getting on the dean's list at the community college and fought my way. I pleaded. When I tell you I wrote my life away to UMBC, and I got back in, and no one even knew I was gone. It was just like, yeah, here we go. I'm back in here. But it was tough. It was definitely tough. I couldn't concentrate. So yeah.
Did that stem the creation of the creation of Living Proof? We are entrepreneurs. Stuck in middle, go with the flow on the go.
Yeah.
What is Living Proof, first off, and let's go from there.
Yeah, so Living Proof is a platform, and it really, what we do is we want to highlight entrepreneurs and incongruent with mental wellness. So kind of like what this is, and we create that space where you feel comfortable. We feel like the conversation is important, and we have a team of experts who are willing to and ready to have this conversation. So like me, I have my experience, but we actually have psychologists and psychotherapists on our team that are able to really, speak on mental wellness as well.
What have you been able to accomplish with this platform so far?
So we just launched in September. We had our inaugural event September 21st, which was awesome. We featured Danny Starr. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she was on 93.9, and there was a big fiasco thing that happened with her on the radio, but nonetheless, she also is a mental health advocate. So what we do is we have live shows. So we'll bring people, have a panel discussion.
And you do that once a quarter?
Once a quarter, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so we interview. We pop up in different locations. So the first one we did was at Po' Boy Gym. The next one should be announced soon because we're coming up on our next one in January.
I know you don't like collaborations, but we are open.
This is different though. No, remember I told you I'm in a different place now. So now I'm in a place where I'm ready to collab. Let's do it. So if you guys are passionate about it,
facts.
We've
had forums on mental health.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm saying this on air. Everybody here be like, let's do it. Yeah. So when we're done this, I'll give you guys all the information so we can definitely connect on that level.
Most stuff.
Yeah, so quarterly, the next one is, you just had one 2 days ago.
No, we had one September.
That was the Brave.
No,
this is
that
my
was
Brave.
Something different. This is my Brave. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Very good one. This is my Brave. So that was another kind of like the same thing actually. And it's a platform where you talk about your experience.
That's through you?
No, that's not through me. That's through. It's actually called This Is My Brave.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was about to say, dang.
No. No. That's with their foundation. I think Jennifer is the CEO of it, and they have amazing team members, Lauren, Danny, and Katie. But they pretty much create a platform to let people talk about their mental illness or whatever they're experiencing through a poetic piece. And so I did a poem about my dad. And
is it memorized?
No, it's almost like 5 minutes long.
Okay,
but it was pretty deep. I got a couple tears.
Find that poem?
Honestly, nowhere right now. What I plan to do though, I plan to do a little video to post it so people can see, but I don't have it posted anywhere.
Gotcha. Yeah.
To that little girl, a boy, sitting watching this episode right now, what do you have? And they want to follow in your footsteps or in the media industry per se, be it music, dance, what have you. What advice do you have for them?
I would tell them to honestly believe in themselves. And I say that because when you're stepping out in this industry, there's going to be so many people who tell you not to do X, Y, and Z because of whatever reason they have. They're going to tell you, oh, you're just starting a little show or a little business or a little something. I remember when I started, and I didn't let anyone tell me my radio show, whatever it was little. I went at everybody. I don't care who you were. I carried my show as if it was the best show in the world. So I wasn't afraid to get to go ahead and reach out to Dr. Umar Johnson, which is someone who I've had on my show when I first started, or anybody. I didn't care because I felt like my platform was that special and amazing. So I would just say, whatever you do, if you're passionate about it, go for it, and don't let anyone tell you that you're less than or not good enough, because you are. And that's true. I'm not even trying to be cliche, but literally have that backbone and go at whatever you want to, however way you want to, in any kind of way. So
if you have to go back, if you had to go back, 7 or 5 years from today to tell yourself, give yourself a message, what would that be?
Eat more, sleep less.
I don't know. I don't know what I would tell myself, because I'm super grateful for everything that happened. At the time, I wasn't. At the time, I was questioning God. I was mad at him. I was mad at a lot of people. But I'm so grateful I went through that, because that's where I am. I mean, I can look back and say, wow, look where she came from. So the only thing I would tell myself back then maybe is to
have faith.
Have faith, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually when my faith got strong. So that's why I thought about that. I was like, But then I had that walk one day and God came to me. So I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I wouldn't change a thing.
How old are you?
You don't ask a woman her age.
It's a question.
27.
Hey, listen, I'll even ask my mom how old she is. What's one thing? What's one thing you haven't done yet that you want to do? That's what that question was stemming to. And before you answer that, sorry, I just want to go back and clarify. You like to refer to it as mental wellness, not mental health. Why?
Yes.
Why is that? I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, sure. So I refer to it as mental wellness because there's a negative connotation around, or stigma around, mental illness or mental health. You think that you have to be depressed or have a certain diagnosable thing for it to be that. And so when you call it mental wellness, you make it more inclusive for everybody. So you don't feel like it's just that. So mental wellness pertains to those days where you don't feel like getting up and you're like, man, I'm tired, or those days you feel like giving up in your dreams. That is talking about that entire thing, staying healthy in those areas.
My bad.
I feel like this should give, like out of 365 days in a year, we should have one day for, our mental health.
We do.
Yeah, just don't go to work, don't go to the market, don't go anywhere, just chill. Like,
I agree.
You can actually take that from work.
You
well,
can.
it depends what job you have.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Depends what
Some
job
jobs
you have.
don't.
Yeah, some jobs
That's
don't.
true.
Or just finesse. Be like, I gotta go somewhere.
I think in the next couple of years we will have something like that. Because I feel like it's growing, and I feel like everyone needs it. So we're all sick, to be honest, in this whole world. I mean, everyone, you're just working every day.
I'm sick of knowledge.
The more you learn, and the more it makes you angry too.
Facts.
I feel like the more I learn, the more I get angry with the world.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you do with what you're learning.
It's what you're learning too.
Yeah.
Stop reading World War II books.
Oh no.
It's like, no, let me
That
chill.
stuff not real.
Today is actually the 100th anniversary of the end of World War One.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Where'd you go dig that one from?
From church. Some of us went to church. It's like, nah. How can people reach you, Flo?
Oh, nah, she didn't. She didn't talk about the one thing.
Yeah.
Do. What was the question again?
That you haven't done, because you got a lot going on.
Yes.
You are strong.
Thank you.
At your age.
Thank you very much.
That's not no derogative.
No,
That's me hailing you. I hail you.
Thank you.
What's the one thing you haven't done yet that you want to do?
It would have to be involving traveling. Maybe travel to Hawaii. I really want to go to Ghana too. I haven't been there. But just traveling. I've done a lot of things, even like adventurous. I'm a little adventure like junkie. So I've like bungee jumped, or I've skydived. I've done like crazy stuff. So yeah, probably just travel.
Just go and jump out of the air.
Skydiving is dope, man.
It's
you done
super
skydive?
dope.
Man.
Why you hit me up?
For what?
Shoot. See somebody's brother.
Because I know you'll be scared for that one, bro. But now, what's your favorite quote? What quote do you leave behind?
Wait, I just had it.
Dang, radio people dying right now. With that desperate.
Dang, I can't even remember what it is. I just had it in my head and it just went away. But it's something about living
One
your
taught me
life.
patience, one taught me love, one taught me pain.
Oh, not that one. Something about living your life. I don't know. But basically, the quote I live by is live by no regrets.
I'm so dumb.
You know?
I like that. Live by no regrets.
No
No,
regrets.
regrets. Yeah. How can people connect with you? and your brands?
Yeah, so they can connect with me. Everything I make it pretty easy. Flow Essence. Let me spell it though. FLOESSENCEE. Don't forget the second E.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Twitter, IG, Facebook, Flow Essence TV on YouTube. My website, flowessence.com. Pretty easy. Flow Essence.
That just made me remember one time this guy, somebody spelled his name Reflex, and he was like, I mean, they keep spelling his name Reflex, right? So one day he woke up and said, guys, it's uppercase R and uppercase X. I'm like, dude, if I'm using all caps, what does it matter?
And somebody keeps spelling it wrong, man. It's like somebody put a regrets that and he spelled no regrets. It's spelled Anyway, we just dumb right now. No, listen. Make sure y'all check out Flow SNC. It's like not Essence.
Okay.
On all her social media platforms, man. Hit up her YouTube account, subscribe so you can catch all that dope stuff she got going on. This has been super fun. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely. We gotta do this again.
Yeah, definitely, man. We gotta collaborate.
Yeah. I said I was down.
All right. Now this has been fun. This is Stuck in the Middle podcast. Definitely want to remind you this episode has been sponsored by Eddie B Music. That's that feel good music based out of Dallas, Texas. Hit up the Eddie B, EddieB.com to get the Eddie B Show. That's his new album that's dropped 26th of November. It's dope stuff. We have checked it out. We would not endorse it if it's not dope, so definitely hit him up. And also Perfect Office Solution, you can get 10% off of your monthly lease if you want an office with them. That's flexible, professional, entrepreneur space. Hit them up, let them know we sent you. SITM Podcast is the name of the code.
SITM Podcast on all platforms. Email is SITMpodcast237@gmail.com. Hit us with question, referrals, concerns. Our behind the scenes people is Man Chiri.
Yeah.
Chiri on the camera. And Ma on the camera. But anyways,
And
man.
the email. If you enjoy what you listen and watch, hit us, that subscribe. So yeah, this is Stuck in the Middle podcast.
And we out.